How y'all doing tonight? All right, my name's Arno. I'm from an organization called Life After Hate. We've been sponsoring the Wisconsin World Series from the beginning. We're looking forward to sponsoring the finals in Milwaukee, Wisconsin later on this summer. Find more about Life After Hate at lifeafterhate.org. I'm going to talk to you guys tonight about something I think we can all improve upon. Alex and I were having lunch the other day, and we're talking about some things that we saw happening that kind of concerned us. And I'm going to tell you why those things are important to me. And this is going to get a little ugly. There's going to be some harsh language. I hope you guys are prepared for that, but trust me, if you hang with me, it'll end in what I think is a beautiful thing, and hopefully you will too. Does anyone here know who Emmett Till was?
No idea.
You do. Anyone else? You do. All right. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old black teenager. In 1955 in southern Illinois, a group of white men busted into his house in the middle of the night, dragged him out of the house, mutilated him, tortured him, tied him to a weight with barbed wire, and threw him in a quarry. The reason they did this is because they said he was whistling at a white woman. Now you gotta understand that in the time previous to 1955, this was not an uncommon occurrence in the United States of America. For hundreds of years, it was open season on black people, on Asian people, on Latino people, on anyone who wasn't white. That was a regular occurrence. When they took Emmett out of the quarry and the funeral was held for him, his mother insisted on having an open casket so that the world could see what these men had done to her son. And these men were all acquitted by an all-white jury and set free. But that atrocity kicked off what is known as the Civil Rights Movement. It inspired men like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to lead a fight, a non-violent fight for civil rights that we all enjoy today, we can all appreciate. All right, does anybody here know who Matthew Shepard was? Anybody else? Matthew Shepard was a 22-year-old college student who happened to be gay. In 1998, two men pretended they were his friend so they could lure him into a car where they took him to a field in Wyoming and they tied him to a barbed wire fence and tortured him until he died. When he was found, people thought it was a scarecrow until they came up to find what was left of Matthew Shepard. Somebody who had a lot of friends and everybody loved him. He was a happy person. He approached life with curiosity and lightheartedness, and everyone who knew him was happy to know him, except for the two men who killed him because he was gay. Now, since that atrocity in 1998, hate crime legislation throughout the United States has been expanded to include crimes against lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people. And rightfully so. Because of these two atrocities I'm talking about, the raw material of fear and ignorance that brought both of them to pass was the exact same stuff. The hate and violence that took Emmett Till's life was no different than the hate and violence that took Matthew Shepard's life. I know this because was 7 years in my life when I practiced hate and violence. I attacked people because of the color of their skin. I attacked a gay man because I was drunk and he was gay. And I broke his face with my elbow. And I laughed about it. That was almost 20 years ago, and I'll never forget that night. That's something I have to live with for the rest of my life. But I have the power to transform that act of stupidity and thoughtlessness into something positive. I can share that with you guys. I can share that with the world to hope that you can learn from my mistakes. When I was a violent, racist, white power skinhead, I used the word faggot just as often as I use the word nigger, or spick, or chink. And it's no different. All of those words are meant to dehumanize people. So if you're using one of them, you might as well use all of them. Because it's all made out of the same stuff. Now what does this have to do with B-Boy, you may ask? Nothing? It should have nothing to do with being a B-Boy. Because how did B-Boy culture come about? Can anyone tell me what B-Boy culture came from? B-Boy culture came from people in the inner city who were tired of seeing their brothers and sisters die because of the same stupid hate and violence that took Emmett Till's life and took Matthew Shepard's life that I practice. Whether it's Bloods and Crips or KKK and Blacks or some frat boy who doesn't like gay people, it's the same stupidity behind all of that thought. So going out of here and knowing that everyone who appreciates B-Boy culture understands the concept of practice. I know all you guys who are throwing down this sickness out here didn't wake up able to do that. I know you guys practice all the time. Is that correct? Who practices what they do regularly? All y'all do. You practice to make yourself a B-Boy. What are you practicing if you use the word faggot? What are you practicing if you say that's gay in a derogatory manner? You're practicing the same hate and violence that caused all this ugliness. There's enough ugliness in the world. B-boys and B-girls have the power to make the world around them a more beautiful place. You inspire your fellow B-boys and B-girls. You learn moves from each other. You push each other to improve. And even people who don't practice B-boy and B-girl love to come and watch you do what you do, because it's such an amazing thing. So going forward out of here, I'm asking you guys to please consider what you're putting out into the world and what you want to practice. Because I know you're all capable of practicing something positive that makes the world around you a better place. Now, I hope you guys will come hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/lifeafterhate. I'm at facebook.com/Arno Michaelis, and also lifeafterhate.org. We're going to get on with the rest of the jam now, and I'll see you all at the finals.